think of the passion, God love everlasting. Keep the law of the land and book in case you're asking. Moving forward to the learning and it's free, cause I know that God know the combo go with Sister E. Love talk Sister E, God work Sister E, charity Sister E, let's talk with Sister E. All different type of information every week. Let me speak. If you subscribe, we going deep. Love talk Sister E, God's work Sister E, charity Sister E, let's talk with Sister E.
What's going on, good people? What's up? What's up, good people? What y'all got going on? Let's get some shout outs in here first. Arrow Spike, welcome, welcome. Yvonne and Astrad, welcome. Thank you so much. Stephanie, Jace, Desiree, Aniaka, Karima, Char, what's up? Country 38, Takar, what's up? Diana, what's up? What's up? Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to my live, good people. So I ain't gonna be out here all day because I gotta do some stuff today, but I wanted to kind of start talking about it, start watching what's going on because they are actually they live right now. They live and they uncensored. They in New York. They're live right now. It's a massive protest. The protest is all over the world. But while they're protesting, the economy is shattering right now as we speak. And understand globalization. I've told y'all, globalization ended siloed economies. Like if one economy falls, the other one can still sustain itself. So with this being, with us having this financial woe coming, this woe is not just coming to the U.S. This is a worldwide event. And it's happening before our eyes. One of the things that I noticed, thanks, Karis. Everybody gonna stay safe. Yeah, everybody stay in the house. Welcome, Karis. But what we're noticing right now is it's the beginning of the demise of this world and the economic system. If you know anything about economics is a global thing. It's not just a siloed group. That's why we got something called globalization. What is that noise? Hold on, y'all. Max, is that you? That's you? Yeah. Oh, okay. Ooh, my child scared me, y'all. She downstairs in her room assembling some stuff, and I didn't know she was doing it. And I just heard banging. I'm like, wait a minute, somebody trying to break in the house? But it's just her downstairs. But y'all, I kid y'all not. This event right here is going to be catastrophic. So before we get to the protest, let's look at what's going on with the economy. I had a few videos that I wanted to kind of show y'all with what's going on far as the recession and what is involved in the recession. Y'all want to talk about that first, or y'all want to go straight into the protest? Y'all tell me, protest or economy? Which one y'all want to do? Because there's so much going on. So much going on. I should have just jotted down what I was going to talk about. I got my little notebook. I'm ready to just write it down. Protest or economy? Which one y'all want to do first? Okay, y'all want to go straight into the protest. So let me do my disclaimer, and then everybody. Okay, one for protest, one for economy. Okay, who else? Protest. Ooh, it's a mixed room. Oh, Terrence, ain't nobody finna give you no economic lesson. I'm talking about what's going on with the stock market, sir. Ooh, just getting real saucy right now. So let me do my little disclaimer. I'm gonna tell y'all, these folks, y'all are real extra right now. Y'all not finna send me up the wall. Okay, let's see. So we'll do a little bit of the protest, and then we're gonna jump back and forth. Okay, Bear with me. It's a lot of people saying protest. Let's start here. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, new reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So here we go. My disclaimer. Let me go ahead. I'm going to keep my little, that big old economy, that big old fair use thing is irky to me. So let's look at some things dealing with this protest. All right. I got a few of them ready to go. Hold on. First and foremost, I just saw something weird. Hold on.
For queer rights, immigrant rights, and the rights of everyday working class people. So y'all look so beautiful. I wish you could be in this place, and there's so many of you. I want you to take a moment.
Hold on, y'all. I had it queued up and ready. Here we go. All right. More commercials? They getting real extra with all these commercials, y'all. All right. Now this is the protest in this is New York.
Right?
Each of our differences are an island, and we can't reach out across the water. That's why they tell us to blame the black community as the racism of reality. That is why we think there is one.
So interesting. This is boring and yarning. That's why I said I want to talk about it. And let's get into other stuff dealing with this because we're watching the protest as it goes. The crazy thing about this is now all of a sudden the world wants to protest a bad president. Oh, the world wants people to get in the middle of the street about a bad president. We've had numerous horrible presidents. We're not going to talk about Reagan. Reagan introduced Reaganomics, and a lot of the jobs that were considered to be warehouse jobs or blue collar jobs were shipped overseas. Guess who were in those steel mills and those box plants and working in those plants and those? A lot of those were black people. A lot of black families lost food, lost jobs. Nobody was protesting. Because the white collar jobs, they call it white collar for a reason. And they say it because of the shirt, but I really believe white collar is more so symbolized towards, the demographic that's going to get majority of those jobs. Impacted, but guess what? They moved off of being managers and supervisors and were able to go to corporate jobs because the corporate jobs were still there and still available. So they were able to transition, but blue collars got hit hard. Were they protesting? No, they were not protesting. Now that an economy has impacted black communities for decades, Nobody wanted to get in the middle of the street. And it's due to policies. Who do you think brought out the policy to where we were able to do free, like it was more easy for us to do a lot of this offshore work? Clinton had a hand in this as well. Nobody was protesting. But now the very system that you created to bite Black people in their butt by taking their jobs away, taking away cheap labor, not allowing them to have access, not allowing us to get any of the things that they got. Now it's coming back to bite you. Y'all created these policies. Now y'all want to stand in the middle of the street and protest. This is y'all system y'all created. This is y'all system. And now all of a sudden, it's time to protest. When do we protest bad presidents? It's been Black people dealing with bad presidents as long as we've been here. But now, because it's impacting their bottom line, it's a problem. It's a problem. You know, these layoffs have been hitting these tech jobs, these corporations, HR, DEI, all that. Guess who are in those roles? They're in those roles. Now it's a problem. Now we got to protest in the middle of the street. Now it's a worldwide global protest against what America's doing. America been doing dirty for a long time. It's just now that dirt is at your front door and you don't know how to handle it. Y'all don't know how to handle it. Y'all pissed off. Y'all want to protest in the middle of the street. Y'all want to act. Black folks said we've been dealing with this for decades. We've been dealing with this since we've been here. Now all of a sudden y'all want us to jump in the street. No, the very economy that y'all had is crumbling because the president, majority of them voted it, because I really don't give a care who the president was. We knew this system was going to crumble anyway, because you can keep a system going for so long to the point it bottlenecks because you're putting in bad information or doing mischievous things. God was going to eventually come to your front door and say, hey, you got to deal with this. Y'all created this. I got to judge you on it. And that's what's going on right now. Either president would have been judgment. It would have been judgment. The pendulum would have swung either way. They would have had to deal with judgment either way. But the economy falling apart, if it was stable enough, we would have been good to go regardless of Trump's policies. Yes, he's raising prices on tariffs. And I'm going to be honest, I agree with him. If I am giving you goods and your taxes, your tax, because it's a tax, is lower than mine, and we're consistently doing this and I'm not benefiting from it, we got to have a conversation. And I'm going to have to raise those prices. So now these exact same tariffs that they're upset about, y'all been tariffing the hell out of Black people forever and a day. We've been dealing with something called Negro tariffs. That's what I'm going to call them, Negro tax. Okay, so be it. Raise the tax. I don't care. And people are like, oh, you should care. Our 401ks. Y'all been living good, eating good. And I ain't saying to follow this country. It is going to happen. But you reap what you've sown. You've reaped what you've sown. You've done this. And now you want to protest in the middle of the street. But these are some of the same people that when they kill Black people in the middle of the street, they try to find fault in us and not the system. Well, now the very system that you didn't find fault in is coming back and biting you. Now, hey, Trump's got to go. Hey, nope, not going. Let him stay there. Let him keep doing what he's doing. I love it. I'm laughing. This is y'all system. Y'all created it. And the thing is, you're upset because y'all wanted to work. Y'all mad because y'all can't go on y'all extravagant trips. Y'all can't go and purchase extravagant things. Y'all can't go do nothing right now because you're feeling how it feels to be the Black person in the room at work. You're scared of your job. When layoffs coming, layoff has no color right now, y'all. Y'all notice that. People try to say majority of people being laid off is Black people. No. In most cases, the jobs that we have, I say some of the jobs are hidden. We ain't got the big title. We don't have the big titles nor the big salaries. They're going for the salaries. People don't realize this. They're going for a lot of the top heavy positions. The individuals that said, why are you going to fire a Black person that's making $90,000 a year because you can't afford to keep them, but keep the person that makes $200,000-$300,000 a year? Guess what you're gonna go for? the heavy hitters. I need Sarah. The black girl in the corner understands the job. We just don't pay her enough, but she understands the work. She knows what to do. I might can give her a $20,000 bump. She good. But Mike over here making $70,000 more. Who am I finna pick? I'm finna pick the person that makes the most. And that's what these corporations are doing. They laying off every and anybody. It really is anybody can get it in this economy. Anybody, but they're gonna always pick the one that is being paid the most and most because they're trying to trim the fat. If the two white guys are making $150,000 a year to do what Sarah, the black girl, can do by herself, guess who they finna go for? Redundancy. Let's get rid of them. Let's keep Sarah, the black girl in the corner. She knows what she's doing. We're going to keep her because it makes sense. They're looking at dollars now. These corporations are looking at money now. They don't care nothing. And we warn them. They're looking at money. They're not looking at color no more. The only color they're looking at right now is green. Green. They got to keep the workhorse going, which is the corporation. But wait, hold on. Why are we paying two people $150,000 each to do a role that one person has been doing for years is making $90,000? So ask yourself, why are they protesting? Because I bet you if it was a pack of Negroes that was getting laid off, fair use too. I'm doing this for education research purposes only. If it was black folks that's being laid off, I'm telling you, they would not get this type of attention. Trump wouldn't get this type of energy, y'all. Trump wouldn't get this type of energy if they were totally targeting black people in these corporate roles and these jobs and these things. No, I said some ain't right. Y'all see my point. They're hitting these big jobs up. And they hitting them hard. So that's why they're saying Trump has got to go. Because they not making money. Even with the tech layoffs. Y'all remember the tech layoffs that was going on during Biden? Because people don't realize people are being very, 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 very interesting with this. Y'all remember 2 years ago, because I got caught in the wave of layoffs. Y'all remember the number of layoffs that were transpired during Biden's era in the tech industry? People were losing jobs left and right. A lot of those were black people. A lot of people lost jobs back in 2000. I'm gonna say 22. Was it 22 or 21? 21 and 22. I had never seen it like this. People losing corporate jobs left and right. Nobody was protesting. Cost of living was high during the time of Biden. Ain't nobody said a word. This cost of living issue has been going on for a while since we came out of COVID. And the money was, cost of living has been ridiculous. A lot of the jobs that were put in place during COVID, these corporations were looking at the money they were making because people were trapped in their house pretty much. Like Amazon was making a ton of money because people couldn't go shop. So guess what? More people were going online buying things. Guess what? I need higher headcount. And then each year you build what you have a proposed profit or profit you want to meet. And instead of having common sense in it to say, I'm not going to base my next year's profits off of what happened last year, because last year it was a little bit different because we had COVID. They based their profits on it, and the headcount was still based off of the headcount they had in COVID. And guess what happened? We got into 2021 and 2022. They were skimming the fat because they said we can't afford to keep this going because people are going out now. They're not sitting in the house. So guess what? People are going to be less amped to use Uber Eats. People are going to be less amped to use DoorDash. People are going to be less amped to use Amazon because guess what? I'm getting out of the house. Real, don't you start. He get ready to ramp up because he heard somebody in the hallway. But people are going to be less amped to do stuff like that. So guess what? Let's go ahead and knock these jobs out, baby. And they was killing the game. Folks companies were losing money because their target profit for the year was off. It was based off of COVID profit. You can't do that. Amazon, think about all the companies that got hit during that time. A lot of the jobs were tech jobs. Y'all remember that during COVID. COVID was the time that if you worked in the tech industry, you was finna make some money. I was telling somebody yesterday, during COVID, tech jobs was paying you bank to join them. Wasn't arguing with your salary. They was giving you sign-on bonuses. We need you. I was without a job, y'all, for 6 months. Had enough money to sustain myself. Not because I was getting those COVID checks. I didn't get a lot of COVID checks. I just had extra money, and then they gave you good severance. And then I had little consulting things that I was doing. And guess what? I was making money. When I got my next job needed people. They needed people. My friends was getting $10,000 sign-on bonuses, $5,000 sign-on bonuses, getting a job $20,000 higher than a normal size, the pay band for the job. They was getting all types of perks. She was getting credit cards. She was doing my last job during COVID. I was getting any and everything I wanted. Plus, I could work remote. They said you can work because the offices are closed. I am allowing everybody to work remote. So people were going places in cities that were cheaper to live because they was making money and they could work remote. These companies was killing the game, and guess what happened? COVID ended. COVID is done, y'all. It's no more. We don't have an epidemic anymore. So guess what? People are going out. People going out. These jobs are cutting back. And they cut back and they cut a lot of the tech jobs. And now they're still not skimming. They're still not done cutting back. And guess what? They cutting their jobs and they mad. And this is why. If the economy wasn't bad, and y'all got to be honest, would there be protests right now? If they were making money, would they be in the middle of the street protesting about Trump? They wouldn't. Let's look at some more protest stuff because I know people want to pay attention to that. Hold on. She is a little boring though. Hers is a little boring. I know Fox News got something going. Let me go to Fox and see if Fox up and going because Fox said they was going to do something. Fox is fire. I like Fox. They finna act a fool on Fox. Let me see. Is Fox up and going? Let me see. Fox News. Let's see what they doing. But y'all, it's only because the system is not working for them anymore and they pissed off. They don't care nothing about who the president is. They really don't care as long as they make money. And they feeling it now. And I'm like, well, you did it to yourself. It ain't on us. Where's my Fox News thing? I just saw Fox News. Did they do it? I'm going to go live real quick, y'all. And then we can. What's live? I guess Fox News isn't. That's interesting. Fox News is not going live with this. But with that being said, while I try to find the one here it is. I was looking for it. I found it. Here we go. Okay, they ain't got no sound. Y'all can see. Let me share this screen. And Elon Musk is doing what Elon Musk do. They understand how to trim the fat, and they are. When you look at some of these jobs, y'all, gotta be honest. Even though these jobs are important to people, these jobs, people got families that feed, take care of. Understood that. But think about being honest with some of these jobs. Some of these jobs, they really wasn't doing anything. They created a position for the VP's son or a director that had a son that was coming out of college and needed a job. So they created a role just for him. They do this all the time. And what happened is these roles were just roles where people was where one person had a manager and another person had a manager they indirectly reported to. I had that to happen. I was like, what is the purpose of this person? Creating jobs and positions for themselves. And what's going on now? The government is good for that, honey. The government's like, no, we're finna cut this. And they trim the fat. Don't trim it. Don't trim it. Trim that fat. Because some folks we was looking at, being honest, y'all, come on now. Let's be real about the whole situation. How many times have we walked into jobs? Somebody was hired and they didn't look like us. They looked like them. Somebody was hired for a role. How many times did we see this, y'all? Somebody was hired for a role or a position. And we sit in the room and they introduced hey, we got a new VP, Scott. He is going to be the VP of operations of the Heckle project. I would be sitting in the room. Black folks be like, wait a minute, hold on. What is this? What does he do? How many times have we had that conversation? What does he do? Nothing. And what they're doing is they're looking at roles where people are doing nothing because they losing money. When you lose money, these corporations don't care of what color you are. They like, we finna get rid of you. You serve no purpose. We can get somebody else to do it. Or better yet, the manager that sits in his office all day and has long lunches and go hang out with friends, guess what? He got to work now. Woo! He got to work. He protested too. Hold on. No wonder are you gonna link or the black girl y'all get rid of. That manager got to work because guess what they doing? We ain't gonna fill that role. We're just gonna fire them and keep going. That manager that was sitting in the office making all the money off of the ninja that's in the room working like a Hebrew slave, you got to work now. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I'm a manager. I'm a director though, but I'm a manager. And had to let somebody go. Guess what? I'm working harder now. Because guess what? But because I'm used to being pushed into places where I gotta learn fast. Guess what? I gotta do the work. I couldn't sit there and say I don't have the liberty because of my skin. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not saying that my company's like that. It's a cool company. But I'm just saying in general, far as the standard amongst many people, I can't sit in a role and just sit and idly twiddle my thumbs and just say, well, I don't have nobody, and let everything fall apart. And I would have a good excuse that I'm shorthanded. I would have a great excuse. I'm shorthanded. I can't finish the job. Well, why are you not doing it? When we had to let the dude go, guess what I said? I got to work. I got to learn his job. I can't let this stuff get out of control because even though y'all know I'm shorthanded, y'all still snatch this person away from me. Guess what? I ain't got the excuse. So I'm doing work. I'm doing stuff I ain't did in years. I'm online trying to say, let me go ahead and get my Microsoft certification because I'm now creating distribution lists. I'm also, oh Lord, I ain't did this in years. Creating access, going into to Azure, making sure I add people to the 80 groups, making sure people send tickets, say, I can't do this. And I'm having to think and say, okay, what does that mean? Okay, that means I'm telling y'all, I ain't worked like this in years. I have not been in that type of administrative role since Madison was in kindergarten. I'm like, I got to learn. No, guess what? We don't have the luxury to whine and protest in the street because we not getting our way. Because if niggas was in the street with the way, because if anybody need to be in the middle of the square in Washington screaming and saying enough is Negroes. We got the right to do that. Because we the ones that got the short end of the stick. And the reason y'all don't hear no sound at the protest because I guess they playing it, but you can't hear what's going on in the background. But make sure I got the sound on. Hold on. Yep, the sound is on. We don't get the luxury. We don't get that luxury. We don't get afforded that opportunity to cry and say, I don't like what the president is doing. I don't like what this government is doing to me. And stand and protest in the middle of the street about one night. One, you didn't give us reparations. Two, you're still there are inequalities out there. Three, all these extra programs y'all created for what? because we're not benefiting from it. Get rid of affirmative action. I'm celebrating it. Get rid of DEI. I don't care. It doesn't affect me because I don't get access like y'all get access. Get rid of all these extra perks. What? Segregation? Cool. Let's go back to segregation. Let's see who gonna win. Black folks sick of this. We're not going to protest for what? Elon Musk doing this thing, President Trump. I think it's just sit back and let's just make it on through it. My mindset is let's make it through it. Make it through these 4 years. It's going to be some long for, but we didn't have to make it through numerous presidents doing us dirty. How many times have we had to sit through numerous presidents creating policies to ensure that we don't have access? Or telling us we're going to have access and then don't give it to us. We'd have to do that for a long time. So it doesn't bother us. We just like, go ahead, have at it. I'm not upset. This is y'all. But now y'all feeling it. And y'all standing in the middle of the street saying, and I've seen the sentiment on TikTok of Black people, you can sit this out. You ain't giving us no permission to sit this out. I'm not going. Y'all go do it. Y'all do it. But now since y'all are having problems, let's protest. We protest about things that are right, our right to protest about. They gonna tote us and put us in the vans and lock us away. I know. Is this New? No, this is Chicago. I know where they are in Chicago right now. I ain't finna cry with you. You deal with it, because we deal with it every day. And we get in the middle of the street and protest with them and lock arms with them. And they give them what they want or give us what we want. Guess who benefits? We don't benefit from these policies. They benefit. So go protest. You're protesting for your policies because they haven't done it. They're doing the same thing to us. I hate to say it. And the thing is, this protest is all over the world. I'm trying to see the other countries that are, this is a global protest. Why is the world protesting against Trump? Trump is messing with the world's money. That's the key to it all. Trump is pissing. When does the world give a damn, excuse my language, about what's going on in the U.S.? Unless it affects their economy. That's why they pissed off. So now it's a global protest. Man, let me see. Let me tell y'all something. Not only are we dealing with Trump and the things that he's doing, man, Trump is playing no games with this economy of the world, the worldwide economy. He hitting them tariffs like corner. On a 10th that fast. And they're mad. Thank you. Right here. Key thing. They're protesting for their policies. Correct. These policies don't really affect us. What Black folks are saying right now is the stock market is crashing. Let me pull my money out. I know a couple Black people said, I didn't pull my money out of my stock because right now it ain't giving. Oh, my 401 is tanking. Let me go ahead and pull my money out real quick and keep it moving, because that's what we do. And that's not good, but that's what we do. I had somebody asked me, how do you make it when you're working in corporate America and you're the only Black person in the room? I just deal with it and keep moving. I ain't got time to look at what's going on. I don't have to look time. I don't. I'm the only Black director in a role at my position, not to talk anything about my company, that have direct reports. It's not that many of us in the room when we go into these corporations. And even then, our decisions are limited. There's so much I can decide on. But the big decisions, I'm going to always be left out of the room. It'll be somebody that's below me far as their ranking and their position. They'll be in the room quicker than I am. This is normal practices since I've been in this world. I don't even cry about it. I don't even get upset. I used to cry about it. I used to be upset about it. Why won't they include me? The only way I can truly get in the club is if I truly let go of my identity and start. No, I'm not letting my identity go. Y'all, this is just, I'm sitting and I'm watching this and I'm not protesting. Why? Because the system doesn't give a damn about me or my people. The system has never given a damn about me and my people. My people have struggled. My people have been able to survive off of nothing. And now you want to protest because you feeling it down? We've been feeling this for decades. We've been feeling this for decades. And guess what y'all done told us to do? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And I'm going to say the same thing. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Why are you in the middle of the street protesting? Why are you so upset? Just keep going. If you keep, don't complain. Just get back in and fight again. Pull yourself up. You're wasting your time protesting. Maybe it wasn't the corporation's fault that they laid all of them off. Maybe the corporation saw that they needed to skim the fat. Don't blame them. Just keep on going. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They tell us that all the time. They tell my people that all the time. And we got so many boots that we done pulled up by the bootstrap. We have no more straps or boots. Somebody said, what do the streets look like from your area? In right where I live right now, I live in a Caribbean area. I live in the part of New York is full of Caribbeans. They going to work. Brooklyn is moving. Now Manhattan is going down. But my part of Brooklyn now, they may be cutting up closer to the Brooklyn end by near downtown Brooklyn, over by Grand Army Square. They probably cutting up over there because that area over there near downtown Brooklyn is close to Manhattan. So you're gonna go right over into Manhattan as you get through there. So that area, if any protest was going on in Brooklyn, it would not be in this area. It would be closer to Grand Army. I would see that Grand Army and downtown. That's where they cut up the most. But it's like right next door to Brooklyn, to New York. But let's look at what's going on in New York, though. Let's look at that. They're over by Park, the financial. I think it's a financial street. That's where they're protesting. Let's see. Let's see what's going on in New York. DC is going down. Let me see the New York protest. This is in Philadelphia. Hold on. I had New York. That's DC. Hold on. Let me go to New York. What is not this? Oh, that ain't no. That ain't no New York with palm trees. This is New. Oh, that is new.
We don't get it. Hey, ho, ho. Trump and Musk have got to go. Hey, ho, ho. Musk have got to go. Hey, ho, ho. Trump and Musk have got to go. Hey, ho, ho. Trump and Musk have got to go. Hey, ho, ho. Trump and Musk have got to go. Hey, ho, ho. Trump and Musk have got to go. Hey.
Yep, they over in Bryant Park. They're over in Bryant Park over there protesting. Bryant Park is over close to Times Square and everything. So they're in the middle of everything. So that's what it's looking like right now in New York. It seems like all the protests are more in Manhattan area. I haven't seen or heard anything in Brooklyn, but I'm not going near downtown Brooklyn right now. I'm not even getting in my car. First, it's raining in New York. I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying in the house. I probably will go outside just to wash some clothes. That's the most they got to go. They gonna get out of me. I went outside and I walked Rio. Where is Rio? I walked him this morning. I laughed and joked with Madison. Me and her had a good time this morning. We argued a little bit, then hung out a little bit, fussed a little bit, hung out a little bit. Talked to Santonio on the phone today, and Don Bird and all of them for about 15 minutes, and y'all for about 15 minutes, about 30 minutes. Got off the phone with them. Got a text message from Aerospike saying, "Hey sis, are you waiting to do your live? Because it's going down right now." I said, "I know." Well, that's what he was insinuating. I said, "Let me go ahead and update my live." That's the most I've done today. That's been my morning. Ask me what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day. I have laundry in my floor. I told y'all my weekly routine of washing my bed linen. All my bed linen is on the floor. I do that purposely because if I put my bed linen on the floor, it's gonna make me get up and go wash it. If I leave the bed linen on the bed, I'm gonna just look at it. So this morning I snatched all my bed linen off of my mattress, and I'm getting ready to wash. I went out last night, hung out with people, and that was it. I ain't forgetting that. Because this is not for us. This fight is not our fight. Because he gonna steal. And the thing is, if we were to get out to that protest, the protest would be off the chain. It would be no chill, but yet and still, they would be locking us up left and right. They would not hold back. Boston, their rally, Houston, their rally. But they can. Here's France. France has got their own little thing going too as well.
Response to some of these policies put in place, not only by Donald Trump, but by Elon Musk, there is a series of protests that's been dubbed Hands Off that have been organized across the United States and abroad as well, at least in a few cities. That includes here in Paris. But we're going to cross now to Bob Vallier, who's the spokesperson for Democrats Abroad France and the board member of Paris Against Trump. Thank you very much for joining us today, Bob. So what is the objective? Why organize these protests here in Paris?
Well, here in Paris, we're just simply what is now a global movement of these protests. We know they're taking place in Toulouse, in Lyon, in the Riviera, also in London, Berlin, Tokyo, Sydney, and all across the United States, both in the big towns, New York, DC, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles, but also in university towns, small towns. They're happening everywhere. And millions of Americans are coming out, not just in the United States, but really around the world. And in places that are not in the United States, we're being joined by our French friends here who are equally disgusted by what's happening in the United States. So it's not surprising that we have a good turnout. In fact, it's a great pleasure because it shows the world that even here we care about what's happening at home.
Bob, so Americans here in France are obviously watching and concerned about what they see happening, but do you think that there are ways in which Americans living abroad, particularly here in Paris or even elsewhere, have felt the effects firsthand of this second Trump presidency?
Well, absolutely. I don't know if we felt them just yet, but we're going to feel them. I made the mistake yesterday afternoon of checking my 401k, and I'm still recovering from the nausea that I experienced. You know, Donald Trump made $5.1 trillion.
Y'all heard what he said. Pause. He upset because his 401k ain't hitting. Y'all hear that? His retirement. Just want to show that. I just want to point that out. Let me keep going.
Yesterday afternoon, felt them just yet, but we're going to feel them. I made the mistake yesterday afternoon of checking my 401k, and I'm still recovering from the nausea that I experienced. You know, Donald Trump made $5.1 trillion worth of value disappear from the stock market in the last couple of days because of his disastrous and stupid tariffs policy. I think there's a lot of Americans abroad who are feeling that sting. You know, I know we have stories in Democrats Abroad of people who've told us firsthand experiences, binational families trying to go to the United States, being stopped and detained for 2 or 3 hours, questioned, have their phones looked at, and interrogated about their beliefs about Trump. You know, I myself am worried about going to the United States during the next 4 years because I'm very critical of Trump. My phone could be seized. My passport could be seized. I'm also binational. There's a lot of fear about that. So yes, Americans abroad are feeling the effects of Donald Trump's disastrous 3 months in office.
Bob, have you seen any changes in membership to Democrats abroad since Trump's return to office? Are you under the impression that there's a bigger desire for people to get in politics, even though they are far away?
You know, coincidentally, Democrats abroad globally is in the midst of its election season. This is when we renew our executive committees in each country. And on that particular level, yes, there has been a huge interest of people, new volunteers who want to run for office in various Democrats abroad places, whether it be locally in Paris or in Guadalajara or globally around the world. And in terms of our membership numbers, yes, we are surprised by how many people are now joining because everybody wants to do something, anything, in order to put a stop to this. And we're engaged constantly in all sorts of tiny actions, we call them, a lot of calling of our representatives and our senators, but also a lot of collaboration with our friends back home to help them organize resistance units, right? And to let them know that they have a brotherhood around the world and sisterhood around the world in terms of this resistance. So there has been an uptick of interest on lots of different levels.
Ballier of Democrats Abroad here in France, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Democracy depends on if.
So the problem is they're uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable. I'm in France and I looked at my 401k and I was just nauseated by it. Negroes been nauseated by their 401k for decades. What are you talking about? And not because we never pulled ourselves up from our bootstraps. We always do that. We own the boot and the strap. But because the access. Creating these glass ceilings. That's what they call it in corporate America. Glass ceilings. But now you feel it. And you want to protest now. Trump is laughing at y'all because he's crazy. He's not. Y'all not going to make him stop. In fact, you've added fuel to his fire. And black folks still ain't going to be in it. I promise you, nigga could say, round up all the black people and you have to ride the back of the bus. You know what black folks going to say? I don't even ride the bus no more. What are you talking about? And in fact, we like the back of the bus. It don't bother us. Not to say I'm saying. I'm not saying bring segregation, but hey, look, this integration crap ain't working no more. It's not working no more. So let's just go with this. Hey, let me see. It's just, hey, this. Have y'all ever read the book called Who Moved My Cheese? Their cheese got moved. Just read the book. Who Moved My Cheese? Their cheese literally got moved. And instead of redoing, they're stuck in this place and they can't get past the fact of who moved my cheese. Whereas the other mouse saying, well, okay, you moved my cheese. Let me learn my environment. Let me readjust. And let me keep moving. We do that all the time. When people move our cheese, we move and we keep going. We learn our new environment. We keep it moving, move our cheese again. We've been dealing with change and having to readjust so much that it's become our norm. that has become who's ever read the book called Who? I read it some years back. Who Moved My Cheese? It's a great book. I have to go reread it. It's a real quick read too. But when you having to constantly morph and change based off of your environment, based on your demographic, based on the economy, based on this. Let me downsize where I would be driving a brand new Tahoe. Let me go ahead and just get another type of car that's a little bit cheaper. Oh, instead of staying in this $6,000 a month apartment, I'm not saying that my rent is not that, y'all, but I'm just saying they say, okay, let me downgrade, or even better, let me go to mama house. Mom and dad house is always refuge. The rent is paid. The Wi-Fi, well, my mama's Wi-Fi is not on point. If I was to move back with my mama, first thing I would do is take over the cable and upgrade the internet because I would lose it. Because her Wi-Fi is not popular. But I would just readjust. I readjust. Okay. I can't go to brunch. I'm going to cook brunch at home. So guess what, y'all? Let's put all our money together. We cook at home and we have our own mimosas and our own brunch at home. And sit in the yard and laugh and act silly and have fun. We readjust. Black folks had better house parties. Y'all remember back? Have you ever seen Lackawanna Blues? Lackawanna Blues, outside of the craziness, it still had a level of beauty to it. I lived in a Lackawanna Blues environment, but my mom owned a rooming house when I was a kid. So it was my mom and dad both owned a rooming house, and it was quite crazy. Every time I watched Lackawanna Blues, I laughed because it was just that wild when I was a little kid. Yeah, I would see stuff like I seen somebody. Yeah, but it was, I grew up. I was fine. It didn't hurt me. But Lackawanna Blues was outside of what I loved about the movie is the external factors that would have broken individuals because they came together. It helped that person get through life. They may have had a bad day that morning. They may even have gotten fired from their job. Guess what? I'm finna go home and we're gonna have a fish fry. We're gonna raise money so you can have rent. We came up with rent parties. We're gonna have a ball and we're gonna make it through it together. I pray that the Most High puts us where we have to depend on each other again. Because when we depended on each other to say, did y'all hear, y'all remember the Good Times? When they found out one of the women in the apartment was eating dog food. I forgot which one it was. I forgot what episode it was. And when the building found out, they made jokes, but they said, y'all, let's have a rent party for her. And they had a rent party, and she was at the party, and she thought the party was just a party and a talent show just to have, an event. And at the end of it, they gave her the money, and she was upset no more. She at the end, they said, no, we got to take care of each other. And she took the money, and her rent was paid. I pray that we come back as a collective like that again. Nobody was hungry. You lived in the project, didn't realize you. Man, where you didn't, I don't want us to go to projects. I take it back. I don't want us to be in the projects, but I want us to be, because we all wasn't in the projects taking care of each other. We had neighborhoods taking care of each other. And now we've allowed ourselves to get into this sick system, integrate, and doing the ways of the oppressor, and it's hurting us. I want the Father to take us back to a place where if you want to segregate us, fine. But when we segregate it, guess what? We're going to make sure everybody eat. And the thing is, I'm not. And they had even worse presidents then. They just didn't feel it. We felt it. But it was horrible presidents then. But now all of a sudden, this president had is laying the smackdown on them, and they feel it and they don't like it. It says even the Bible says the foreigner will come into your land and rise above and do better than you. And that's another thing. The immigrants have come over here, have established themselves, either their first, second, or third generation. Guess what? Or come from immigrants. They've rised above. Now they're mad because Trump is like, nope, so be it. I had a black guy yesterday who was hanging out with. He said something like, I like ice or something he said. And I was like, oh my gosh. He's in the middle of a Mexican restaurant and he said that. We all kind of looked at him like, what? But you kind of see what he's talking about. Somebody said I called a ringworm playing in Project Dirt as a kid. So, you know what? Y'all are something else. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm choking a little bit. But again, I ain't saying go back to projects. I don't want us to go back to projects. No. Don't want to, but I want us to have back our Wall Streets, our black Wall Streets. I want us to get our, Memphis, downtown Memphis, Beale Street area back, our parts. I want us to get our neighborhoods back where we were a collective and we didn't need. And we wasn't in projects at that time. And let me clear that up. We wasn't in the projects at the time. We all had neighborhoods. We had businesses. I only use good times as an example because it just shows that when people had tough time, they took tough times. They took care of each other. But I don't want to go back to the project. I don't want to go to the projects. I ain't say back. Projects ain't for me. But we didn't have to have a project because we all had an economy of our own where nobody lacked, and we worked and we took care of each other. Oh, Saints for to make a snippet said, sister said she want to go back to the project. I know I do not. Let me say it in the room. I ain't say I want us to go back to the projects. No, I said I want us to come back together, to take care of each other, like when people fell on hard times when they was like, come on now, Saints. Y'all know I ain't saying it. Saints like, what? I didn't get a ringworm. No, Saints. But I just want to come back as a collective when we had our own economies and nobody lived in the projects. Because guess what? Sean need a job. Okay, well, go down to Mr. Such and Such store. He just opened the neighborhood store. He looking for somebody to bag groceries. Oh, they're looking for a store man. We all had our own collective economy. We didn't have to depend upon the system. That's what I want to go back to. That's exactly what I want to go back to. Let me see. Hey, Sheila, what's going on? But let's go back and look at these protests. But y'all, everything that they got going on with them, somebody's talking about telling black folks they got this. Black folks didn't ask y'all to get it. We said we're not coming. Y'all got this, y'all fight. We ain't finna fight this. This is y'all's fight. Have at it. Like, let yes, there's nothing I don't like hearing people like let black people rest. We didn't ask y'all to speak on our behalf. We ain't asking for permission to rest. We told y'all we was gonna rest. I hate that when they be like, just let we got this.
Are you ready? Let's join them and let's say it loud so they can hear us over in the. Ready? Hands off my Constitution. That was pretty good. I was going to ask you all to do it a second time, but with Rob and his colleagues of Public Citizen and Labor. And then later, we were ready. Later that same day, we went went to court with Anu and the ACLU and her colleagues and brought the very first case on January 20th, saying, Donald Trump, you can't choose which babies born in this country are citizens and which not. The Constitution made that choice, Trump. And since then, we won that and dozens more the coalition did. And you know what? Trump and Musk can't stand all that losing. That's why. Yes, they hate it. That's why they're lashing out at all the lawyers and the law firms. Shoot, they're lashing out at me. Donald Trump has removed my security clearance 3 times. 3 times. I don't know if it's a mental capacity thing and he just forgets that he did it, or if he takes it away and then when he loses again, he says, turn it back on so I can feel better about all the losing. Hanu, what do you think?
How are we feeling? My name is Anu Joshi, and I am with the American Civil Liberties Union. In the just over 2 months since Inauguration Day, the ACLU has filed over 30 lawsuits against the Trump administration for their extreme, cruel, and illegal actions. And we are winning, and we are not slowing down. But the truth is, while fighting and winning in court is important, we all know it's not nearly enough. We need the power of the people. And together, we must demand that our members of Congress and our governors and our mayors and big law and university presidents and CEOs get in these damn streets with us. They need to show us that they will not capitulate to the Trump administration's threats. The Trump administration's attacks on our right to dissent are the biggest threat to the First Amendment since the Red Scare. The unconscionable and unconstitutional arrests of international students and scholars should alarm every one of us. ICE has illegally snatched people from their homes and neighborhoods, threatened their legal status, and sent them across the country with no notice to their loved ones or their lawyers. All of this in direct retaliation for constitutionally protected speech. The government cannot punish us because they don't like what we say. That's not my opinion. That is central to the Constitution. One of those students that was rounded up, Oster, a Tufts University student who is illegally accosted and arrested outside of her home by plainclothes federal agents and then sent for 1,000 miles away to a for-profit private prison in Louisiana. All of this terror inflicted because she co-wrote an op for her newspaper. ACLU of Massachusetts, CLEAR, and Mahsa Kababi are standing with Rumyesa in court in defense of her First Amendment rights. The government cannot punish us because they don't like what we say. I want to end with a statement from Rumyesa
Really?
she shared with the legal team earlier this week. I am a PhD student working with children and youth. We know that injustice in the world and systemic brutality towards people of color has long-lasting negative effects on children, youth, and other communities. Writing is one of the most peaceful ways of addressing systemic inequality. Efforts to target me because of my op-ed in the Tufts Daily calling for the equal dignity and humanity of all people will not deter me from my commitment to advocate for the rights of youth and children. And we cannot let it deter us from fighting for the future of this country.
Hello, my friends. I'm Rob Weissman with Public Citizen. As you have heard today, and as you know, we are living under the most lawless, constitution-trampling administration in American history. And so there's nothing more immediately urgent than for us to go to court and beat Trump again and again and again over his illegal and unconstitutional actions. And we have to do it because it's not just about a Schoolhouse Rock moment. It's because people's lives are at stake. It is his illegal actions that are causing a humanitarian disaster around the world. So people are going to die from malaria and TB and preventable disease for no reason. It is his illegal action that is paving the way for financial fraudsters, for credit card scams and big banks to rip us off. It is his illegal and unconstitutional actions that are rolling back the rules that give us clean air. It is his illegal and unconstitutional action which is racing us towards climate catastrophe. It is his illegal and unconstitutional actions which are rolling racial justice programs. It is his illegal and unconstitutional actions.
Yeah, wait a minute. Let me pause because they're boring anyway. They're a little boring anyway. Wait a minute, Sheila. Sheila said, where's Sheila at? She said, I think Trump is on the golf course somewhere. When I say Trump is so unbothered by this rally, he's somewhere chilling. Like, when y'all get through, I'm still going to do what I want to do. When I say the definition of unbothered right now, or the example of unbothered right now, is Donald Trump. He is, I told y'all, he hilarious. I said, when he get in office, this is going to be funny. I said, Trump, when you get in office, this is when the news get interesting. Epitome of unbothered. She said, when y'all get through, y'all finna catch these hands. I'm finna do what I want to do. I'm the president. He said the fall of this with these tariffs, he said the only people that won't survive are the weak. I said, oh, he's so unbothered. He unbothered and they pissed off. Trump said, I'm finna go and I'm finna lay these policies down. How they do us? When they lay policies down, we have to deal with it. They getting that same word, and black people like, I don't care. Really, at this point, I'm tired. These bills is piling up. I ain't getting no better. I don't care. He said, I don't care. I don't give a daggum. Rio, he don't care. But he is the definition of unbothered. Let's see what else. This is the most boring protest that has no, this is why you need the energy of our people. When we in the room, we give things. That's the power that the Most High has given us. When we get into, we shift things. The Father has given us some authority and power that we seeing it right now. We seeing it right now. When we come into a protest, the energy in the room changes. When black folk come in, the room changes. You say, let's see if y'all can get this done. We ain't in it. Pay me. Give my reparations. Put that in the conversation. You might get us out there with y'all. Y'all might get us out there. Reparations just for us, specifically for us. Foundational Black Americans. Not anybody. Foundational Black Americans, descendants of the people from the slave trade. You know, we have to put specifics in there because, baby, they'll slip a good one on and say, well, anybody? No. God ain't giving y'all. Ain't nothing going to change. Trump finna come in on Monday after his weekend at the golf course and going to show y'all what protest really means to him. Ooh-wee! He unbothered. We are not in it. Let's keep watching.
To hold our government accountable to take action on solutions for us.
That's always one.
I wish we were gathered here under different circumstances, but 100,000 plus people here and millions of folks across the country coming together to stand up for our future is a beautiful thing.
I'm so tired. It's always one of us. One.
Because there's a lot to celebrate about a future that we are fighting for. We're here.
When I tell you TikTok finna drag this sister, oh, the Black community is finna drag her ass. I almost cussed. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I had to catch myself. Woo! Y'all know I'm still a work in progress, but you know, Black people are going. Any Negro that showed up on that mic, any Negro that showed up and said a piece of a word, she gonna hate herself in the morning after she get dragged on TikTok, baby. Her and the other Black dude that got up there was a Black dude up there. Ooh-wee. You know they finna drag her. They finna drag her. Oh, I feel sorry for her because the Black community gonna say you just.
And this is just the latest chapter in a story and a long history designed to strip Black communities, Indigenous communities, Latino communities, queer communities, and our disabled brothers and sisters from our power, our purpose, and our possibility. But they can't. And we won't let them. The goal of this administration's agenda is predicated on anti-Blackness and a neo-segregationist agenda and approach that is seeking to erase us and erase our history. And while they seek to break us to embolden themselves, I'm reminded of the words of Alice Walker, prolific writer, Black woman and thought leader, who said, there are those who believe that Black people possess the secret of joy, and that it is this that will sustain them through any spiritual or moral or physical devastation. And as a Black woman who has experienced the cruelties and injustices of this world, but who will not let it break me, I know her words are correct. She says, resistance is the secret of joy. And that's something I want everyone here to remember today, because there's something that is viscerally satisfying when we say absolutely the fuck not.
What was your purpose of saying that? Everybody else got up there and spoke, even though as boring as they were able. But then you got to get up there and say that. What was the purpose? What was the purpose of that? They finna drag her. Oh my gosh. Why? What's your purpose?
And so shout out to all of us that work for a living. Shout out to all of us that know adversity, that have experienced it throughout history, and yet have found joy in community, found joy in togetherness, found joy in the collective imagination and fighting for a just and equitable world that we just haven't experienced yet. And as always, it will be Black community, disabled folk, and our allies fighting for our freedoms. Let the words, let the community, let the joy to be found today sustain you, nourish you in the coming days, months, and years fighting this terror. But it can't storm forever. Remember that joy is the lifeblood of resistance and defiance in the face of evil. That dancing, creating, and I see the signs, I know you're creative. That marching, that protesting, that standing up against this neo-segregationist tyranny and authoritarianism, that we will continue to say hands off, that we will continue to find joy in the resistance, and we will resist with joy. Thank you.
Please welcome Gabrielle Eaton, Planned Parenthood.
Y'all know she walked off like, I shouldn't have done that.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Gabe, and I'm from La Crosse, Wisconsin. That's the Wisconsin where the richest person in the world spent millions of dollars trying to buy a state Supreme Court seat, and he failed. Can I hear it for all the Wisconsinites defending democracy? Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am Black. I am Filipino-Japanese, second generation. I'm a disabled trans man, but I'm also a Medicaid patient. I'm also a person who uses food stamps.
Why she say?
I'm also a person who has been through houselessness in this country. I'm also a person who has gone through substance use.
So I said, yo, where are they getting these people from?
I am a patient of Planned Parenthood.
Oh my God.
I am everything that Donald Trump and Elon Musk want to erase.
Why was the first thing she said she Black?
I am everything they want to silence. With every executive order, with every safety net they slash, every hateful word they say, they want me to go away.
Yep, she did. She did. Yep,
So
she
in
did.
case
That's
they're
the first thing.
which I doubt they are. Hello, I am here. I exist. We as people all exist.
Oh, I want some Popeye's chicken right now, y'all. That new pickle. Have y'all had the pickled chicken? Why she talking? Because she ain't talking about nothing.
Thank you.
Have y'all had the pickled chicken yet? That
But
they
they do
got
keep
at Popeye's? I
trying.
want it. I might Uber
Every
Eats
day
it.
there's something new to be pissed / terrified / heartbroken about. Last week, Donald Trump and Elon Musk came after show of hands, how many of you have been to a Planned Parenthood for care? Or has had a loved one? Not at all surprised nor shocked.
So I don't get hit with nothing. But let me say something for YouTube come at me. I'm finna order me some Uber Eats. Y'all, we're gonna be out here for about another hour. And I need to eat something. And I don't plan to go nowhere because this finna be interesting. Y'all may be hanging out with me for a couple of hours today. Who ordering Uber Eats? Who ordering something? Y'all want to order all together? Oh, I forgot some of y'all don't spend money on Sabbath. I'm sorry. I didn't cook nothing. Let me see. We here for a little bit. And that's why I need some other people up here. I didn't text Antonio. Anybody want to join me? Give me a 1. Because I'm the only person talking. Whew, I'm finna order me some Uber Eats, honey. Finna sit in this house and then go wash later. But we're gonna be here for a couple hours because I'm sitting here now. Why is the first thing she says, y'all, is I'm black. I'm gonna keep this going, but if you're ordering something to eat, hit a 1. Order Sister E some pickle wings. I'm just joking. Who won't get Sister E some pickle wings? I want them pickle wings bad, y'all. And I'm craving them. And I don't know why. So, and don't judge me, Sheila. Ooh, wee. I know Sheila looking at me like, I know you ain't up here talking about this bad processed food. Yes, I want some Popeye's chicken. Don't talk about me, Sheila. I want some Popeye's chicken wings. But she said she black, y'all. Let's go back.
Because 1 in 4 people have been to Planned Parenthood. It's for our communities and for our neighbors. To remind them that they cannot take away our rights. They cannot take away who I am. Because I won't let them. We won't let them.
Why are you hollering?
We won't let them. Because one more thing about me is I've been coming out to protests and demonstrations from when I was a little kid for Prop 8 in California when my rights were forged. I've used my voice to fight for my neighbors in my community. This is who I am. This is who we are. And I know there's always something that you and I can do to fight back. We can volunteer. We can knock doors for the election like I did. We can call our members of Congress and our local politicians to tell them to take their hands off of our health care. You can share your story with anybody who will listen. Please tell anyone who will listen, anyone who cares, anyone who will give you the time of day why this matters to you. There are hundreds upon thousands of us, and we are not going away. We will not be erased. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Please welcome to the stage Executive Director Kaya Chatterjee, Free DC.
You all look so beautiful out there. Give yourselves a round of applause. My name is Kay. I'm the Executive Director of Free DC, and I'm here because I know that everyone here agrees that DC deserves better than what we're getting right now. DC deserves to manage and run and have our own budget. DC deserves to have our own laws. DC deserves to have elected officials that represent us, the people of DC, and our interests, people who we elected to represent our interests. And DC deserves to maintain our status as a sanctuary city. There's nobody who should be able to take that away from us because that is what we voted for here in DC. Now, this administration is attempting a power grab in so many ways, but is also attempting a power grab over the people of DC and DC communities. And it is up to us, it is up to all of us to stop them. Whether or not you live in DC, it is up to us. We have to stop them because when we talk about DC, we are talking about more than just any old city. We are talking about the capital city of this country. And for a leader like this one that lives in that house behind you all, they are consolidating power so fast. They are trying to control the capital city. That is how they want to stifle us. It's how they want to stifle protest like this. It's how they want to stifle dissent. And that's really dangerous to let them come after DC, the capital. This president is following an authoritarian playbook. He's doing the things that authoritarians have done throughout history to concentrate power and to break down democracy. We've seen him, right? Dismantling federal agencies. Anyone seen that? Retaliating against critics, allowing some people who he likes to operate above the law. This is what authoritarians do, and we cannot let him take over our capital. It is up to all of us to stop them. And here in DC, we are uniquely powerful. It has always, in every country where we've seen people rise up against authoritarianism, it has always been people in the capital city who rise up. And Free DC is here to build the movement that it will take to make it clear that we, all of us, inside, outside DC, we will not comply. I know that we can do this because, unlike the president, I know the people of DC. And some of you heard this morning the go-go beats that we danced to. We saw some of our students up here this morning, our beautiful students who are brilliant. And we know that our neighbors are connected to each other and in communities that love each other. Those are the things that make it impossible for a leader to oppress people. Those communities, those relationships, that beauty, that creativity. So we heard just a few minutes ago a lot about the importance of joy. I want to ask you all to say it with me, to be a part of this movement for joy, because we are going to need to push back. Here in DC, about 3 weeks ago, we did something pretty unprecedented. We flooded 100 Senate offices at once, and we actually, so we didn't get them to save democracy because they didn't have the spine for that, but we did get them to actually pass a standalone bill that let us use our own local dollars in DC. They tried to take that away from us. But now that bill is in front of the House of Representatives, and the people, you're about to hear from some people who support us in allowing us to use our own dollars. But unfortunately, we're going to have to push for this. So I want to invite everyone here to join us on Monday morning. We're going to be up at the Capitol at Spirit of Justice Park. You can go to our website, freedcproject.org, and figure out how to join us. Join us in forcing this government to let us have our own local dollars. This is part of protecting DC. This is part of protecting the Capitol, and this is part of protecting democracy. And protecting our own sanity in our community is part of that too. So I our priorities and our ethos at Free DC, and I want you to repeat after me. I will prioritize joy. I can see you doing it right now. I can see the smiles. I will take up space.
Y'all, it is what y'all can't find on TV here. Y'all, this is crazy right here. They wouldn't have found any people of color. They wouldn't have found any people that were considered to be melanated. If you was a bum on the street and you look halfway melanated, they went and gave you a bath and gave you a speech and said, get in front of this mic and say something, because these Negroes ain't acting right. Because if we would have been up there, it would have been heated, it would have been energetic, you would have felt the energy from the stage. You're just chilling. You chilling. And you don't care. I don't want to be in this. We're not in. So they said we gotta find somebody. I mean, we gotta find somebody. And they would have got people we ain't even ever seen before. None of these people on this stage. I said, I ain't never seen nobody. Thank you, Eric, for your super chat. I take all super chats. Eric, he always Israel for Israel. Hey, sister, never heard of the pickle wings, but get you some get you some and enjoy. Thank you, Eric. Eric bought me lunch today, y'all. Thank you, Eric. Eric, bless me, honey. Thank you. But y'all, this right here, they wouldn't have found any Negro, any color person of color to get on the stage. I ain't never seen any of these folks. any of these folks. Eric is always taking care of Israel. He gonna always take care of Israel. I can hopefully one day, Eric, I run into you in the street. I know one day I got a feeling I'm gonna run into you soon. Because I think we somewhat in the same neck of the woods. Yeah. They would have found anybody and said, get on here and get in front of this mic and say something, because the Negroes ain't talking. They just sitting like they doing this whole thing of you can sit this out, but in their heart of hearts, they crying in the background because they like the niggas ain't coming. They went and got the almost black clear. Oh my God. Man, the protest has there will be no, you don't have to, every protest, they give you snippets of somebody and they saying something profound in the world, just like, oh my gosh, it's always some ninja in the back that wrote them a good old poem and then got up there and said it and killed the house. We don't do that. They ain't got that right now. They just got people growling and screaming in the mic. The last girl just was growling in the mic. I'm like, wait, hold on. That's it. That's all y'all got. They just had a right. Or transgender, growling in the mic, screaming in the mic. You had another woman I've never seen before. You had another one, I don't know what she was talking about. She kept saying black and colored and all it, she just kept giving you a list, and she gave the same list every single time. Yeah, this is the most. Trump is somewhere laughing. When I tell you,
you doing it right now, 100,000 of you taking up.
We do not accept kings. We have a billionaire who has bought a seat next to the president, using him as a puppet. American democracy has never been for sale, and it won't be today. We are
I knew they was
seeing
gonna dig her up.
cowardice.
I knew they was gonna dig her
Professional
up.
Republicans that are utilizing the chaos our fascist president is creating to cut Medicaid, Social Security, and take away our rights.
What is this senator's name? I forgot her name. She's a senator.
$4.5 trillion
What's her name?
in tax cuts to their billionaire puppeteers.
Because she's Arab.
None of this is normal.
I think she's Arab. I don't know. I can't remember.
Why we have to fight for our constitution.
Yes, that's who that is. They had to go find her.
Because
what is it? Yeah.
The thing. No matter who
Elaine
you are,
Omar, Omar.
Trump
I couldn't remember her name.
Congressional Republicans are coming for you. If you are a mother struggling to put food on the table, they're coming for you.
Yeah, she's Somalian.
If you have
not foundational black, let's emphasize.
Parents that you are trying to put in a nursing home, they're.
Here we go with that whole thing of foundational black Americans, descendant of slaves. Oh, she's married to a YT man. Wait a minute. Madison is trying to put something in.
They want you to believe that it is because of trans kids that you can't have the necessary access to the programs we already paid for. They want you to think it is okay to snatch people in the middle of the night and disappear them. They want to take away our pride as Americans in the Constitution and due process by putting people in foreign prisons in a dark hole. They want to crash the economy so that they can set up a process of punishment and reward so they can grab more power for who will
is normal. So if you want a country that has the marvelous constitution we have to fight for it. If you want a country that still believes in due process, we have to fight for it. If you believe in a country where we take care of our neighbors, look after the poor, and make sure our children have a future they can believe in, we have to fight for it. So are you ready to fight? Are you ready to fight? Let's go fight and win. And with that, it is my honor to introduce Representative Simon of California.
Hey, good people. So I've been in the United States Congress for about 3 months. I was sworn in on January 3rd with my colleagues to do one thing, is to fight like hell against tyranny. You elected members of Congress to stand with a backbone 10 toes down to fight and to win for the little girl right now who is in cancer treatment, who her parents are praying every minute for a cure to be met by an administration who refuses to fund cancer research. You elected members to fight like hell and to deny their vote to a slimy administration who has proved time and time again that their cruelness is beyond no end. You elected us to adhere not only to the Constitution, but the promise of the framers, the Hebrew text and the New Testament, the Quran and the words of the Baha'i, and every single religion that surrounds this great nation. Isaiah 10, verse 1 and 2. It's clear. The Hebrew Bible is clear. Woe who injects false and cruel laws that makes the fatherless poor. Woe who is those who inject false narratives that ensures that the widows have nothing. I tell you one thing here, as a new member of Congress and as an organizer 30 years deep in our neighborhoods, and yes, I'm from Oakland, that when evil is confronting us, guess what we do, America? We pull up. We pull up. So, for that family who has an elderly,
They went and got people who
beautiful relative.
I'm gonna let her finish and I'm explaining to you what's going on. I'm gonna tell you what's really going on.
Family who is struggling with a disabled child. I want you to know, despite this administration's promise to end rights for people with disability, regardless of this administration's aim to stop on the backs of our elderly, regardless of this administration's promise to end inclusivity and to throw out our children, not only brothers and sisters and siblings will we fight, we will use the strategic force of this body and the 2 million strong that are out in the streets today to win. At every city hall, at every governor's office, and yes, right here in the White House, our lives depend on it. Not only are not we going back, we are going north. We will win because evil will never prevail. Let's keep fighting. And with that, I want to introduce my brother, Congresswoman. By the way, thank you so much, Congresswoman. Congressman Eric Swalwell.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like. This is what it looks like. We've seen a lot of people cave to fascism in America. We're not. We've seen the CEOs cave. Will you cave? We've seen the law firms cave. Will you cave? We've seen the colleges cave. Will you cave? We can't cave. My name's Eric Swalwell. I'm the son of a cop, a mom who was a baker, and I went to college as the first in the family on a soccer scholarship. And before every big game, before every season, the coach would tell us, I want you to close your eyes and think about what does that last moment of the game look like? And I want you to think as we begin this season of democracy, what does the last moment of this march look like? We win! That's what it looks like. It's justice. It's redemption. It's accountability. And it's renewal. Because as you stand here right now, we have gone from a Trump slump to a Trump train wreck. We are going into a red recession. Our 401ks are 201ks. Our costs at Walmart and Home Depot and Target, where 4 out of 5 of the things we buy are from overseas, are going up. And where is Donald Trump? He's golfing. So to Donald Trump, I say, get your ass off the golf course and face the people. America first. It's Trump first. This guy is a con. Trump Bibles, made in China. Trump sneakers, made in China. The Trump shit coin, made on a computer made in China. And he's not just disappearing people. He's disappearing rights. And to that we say, disappear, we're still here. Our veterans, we're still here. We're still here. We're still here. That's right. And he wants to disappear our veterans and women and hardworking immigrants and our seniors and our kids and the sick. We're still here. So you are asking us, what is the plan? And I'll tell you this, we are not going to give a single vote to fascism inside the Congress because we know you're fighting outside the Congress. And so small victories will bring us big victories. We had a victory last Tuesday in Wisconsin. Thank you. We need a victory later this year in New Jersey and Virginia in the governor's race. And then we're going to march all the way to the midterms, and we're going to win on November 4th, and we're going to cut our time in hell in half. So what my colleagues and I want to ask you, because just about a mile from here on January 6, 2021, we saw the bravest police officers. They showed up and they defended our democracy. And you don't have to put on body armor. You don't have to take a stun gun to your neck or a Confederate flag to your head. You don't have to suffer a heart attack or a stroke or traumatic brain injury, as we saw from Officer Mike Fanone or Harry Dunn or Danny Hodges or Sergeant Ganell and so many others. But if you show up with the same integrity and the same passion and the same vigor and love for our country that they showed, we will win. So April 5, this day, April 5, will be the day that America came alive. And when I am asked on November 4, 2026, when we win the midterms, how did you know? How were you so confident that we were going to win? I'm going to tell them. Because on April 5, I stood in front of a monument to freedom with people from all over the country, with people who work so hard and dream so big, and they said, we're not going to be fucked with. Thank you.
First and foremost, when we get on stage, we can't say language like that. We don't say language like that. We have to be very mindful of the things that we say. We can't cuss like that. If we got up there and just start throwing all the F-bombs and being ignorant, they would call us out on it. We would call each other out on it. But they can get up here and throw up F-bombs and just say anything. Y'all, when I tell you, this protest right here, horrible. This protest by far is horrible. Then they always go get someone, some of the black folks that they went and got to speak are black folks that just wanted a chance to speak because they had other people that were well known in the community to get up and speak and represent the black community. Because the black community is taking a seat and saying, we ain't getting in this. The person in the corner, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. I really believe these are the pick me people. Like, pick me. Pick me, pick me. I want to speak. I finally get a chance to speak, and then speak at a time when your voice isn't relevant. This is not the time for us to speak. It's not relevant. So they're picking them for what? And then when they get up there and they speak, they're not very elegant in their speech. They're not cussing, but they just, it's very, and we're gonna go up here and we're gonna go in that house and this, and I'm like, no, that ain't what you supposed to do. You know, it's just it's pitiful that our people allow ourselves to be played by the very system that when we get done with the protest, white folks gonna get their words back. We're gonna go right back to the status quo.
To say to Donald John Trump, hands off Medicaid and Medicare. It belongs to our seniors. Social Security is not a Ponzi scheme. It is a part of the American dream. It belongs to our seniors. And we have to tell President Trump that Canada is not going to become the 51st state. Invaded Ukraine. Greenland is not for sale. Also need to know, dear friends, that Gaza is not going to become a resort. Gaza is not going to become a resort. There must be a home for the Palestinian people. Yeah, there must be. There must be. And I'm here to speak from my heart. This message is from my heart. It's not from my head. This is my heart. I want you to know something. I carry this cane because there are people who don't like me. They don't like my cane. But I carry this cane because after having celebrated my 25th birthday 3 times, 2 years into my 25th, I carry this cane. And I carry this cane because I believe in the 23rd Psalm. That portion that reads, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because my rod and my staff comforts me." This is my comforter. This is my comforter. And I want you to know that I'm going to take this staff of truth, and I'm going to take this rod, and I want President Trump to know that he's not going to have a 3rd term. There will be no 3rd term. No 3rd term. No
But more important than this, dear brothers and sisters, and I say brothers and sisters because there really is but one race, and that's the human race. Yeah, we're all related.
There we go. There we go. He said it. See, I can't.
We're all related, and L.S.B. Leakey, a noted anthropologist and paleontologist, reminds us that all of human life can be traced back to a single African woman. So if we're not brothers and sisters, we're at least cousins. So dear cousins, hear this message for Donald Trump, for President Trump. This is more important. I want President Trump to know that I will use my staff of freedom to proudly bring forth a message that should say to him, he may not finish this term. He may not finish this term. He may not finish this term. He may not finish. He may not finish this term. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Because you are now sowing the seeds that can lead to a Congress being elected that will have the courage to not only have articles of impeachment filed, but to impeach him a third time. Impeach him a third time. A third time. And a Senate, we need a Senate that will convict him this time. And I want you to know from my heart, I understand that he is a Goliath. He is a Goliath. He has control of the generals and the military. He has control of the Justice Department. He has control of the Republican Party. But my friends, for every Goliath, there is a David. There's a David. These are your Davids.
No.
There's a David.
No.
And I want you to know, Mr. President, this David is going to bring articles of impeachment against you within the next 30 days. Within the next 30 days. I'm bringing articles of impeachment. I'm coming for you, Mr. President. This David is coming for you. You don't deserve the office you hold.
And look how they watching
you
him.
You can't be entrusted with liberty and justice for all. You can't be entrusted with government of the people, by the people, for the people. I'm coming for you. I'm your David. God bless you.
Please welcome to the stage co-executive directors Leah Greenberg and Ezra Levin, Indivisible.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's good to be here with you today. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm Leah Greenberg. I'm the co-executive director.
They need so much color on the stage, y'all.
I'm Ezra.
They didn't go ahead and when they got a black head, the one that does the hand, the sign language.
Indivisible groups.
They didn't really got a black man.
People.
They need color that bad.
People who decided that politics and our democracy are too important to be left up to the politicians who raised their hand and said, I got to do something. It's like you. I bet there's a group near you that could use a few new organizers. Now, I want to be so clear about why we are here today. Over the last 3 months,
we wouldn't got a brother.
Donald Trump has handed
the federal government
the Boston Powers
of the federal government over to the richest man in the world.
Listen, he said, "Why is Jamie Foxx doing? Why did I think he
And
would
the
like
richest
Jamie
man in the
Foxx?
world
Why did they go get Jamie
has
Foxx?
decided that you don't deserve clean drinking water. The richest man in the world has decided that your kids don't deserve good
When I
schools
tell
and
y'all,
special
TikTok's gonna
education.
be lit after this event.
The
I'm
richest
ready.
man in the world
I'm
has
ready for
decided that our
TikTok.
veterans don't deserve services, and your grandma does
Thank you,
not
President
deserve
Trump,
home
for
fuel
keeping
to heat her
TikTok
home.
on. At least for my laughs on this tonight.
The richest man in the world's coming for our Medicare and our Social Security. The richest man in the world is firing the people who protect our workers' rights, who protect our civil rights, who protect our public lands and national parks, who research the cancer and the Alzheimer's and the diabetes cures that we and our loved ones depend on. And they're doing it all. They are doing this all so that they can fund their next round of giveaways.
I got
to
another
their
one to show
fellow
y'all.
billionaire
Hold on.
buddies.
I'm pausing her for a second. She ain't saying nothing. So I'm gonna show y'all this protest. This protest is happening in London. So let me share this. Y'all see? Not a Negro in sight. And there's black people in London. Asif is in England. Asif, why you ain't out there protesting? You in England. It's ninjas, plenty of ninjas in England. But y'all see, man, that's the most non-melanated protest that I've ever seen in my life. So here we go.
I'm proud to introduce our first speaker, Eric McElroy, a comedian and advisor in U.S. Student Law Action. This moment is for you. Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! We demand an end to the billionaire takeover and the no matter where you're from, with the U.S., with dictators like Putin and Orban. This moment is for you.
Other reason that I'm here, which is weird, of which 265 million is spent right here in the UK, investing in British.
That's the most they could do. Let's go back to the other protest, y'all.
Victims of world events, y'all. The fascists,
The next, oh my
they
God.
want us to fear them. Do we fear them? They know that fear is contagious. You know what else is contagious? Courage. Each one of us gets to choose what we put out into the world. What do we choose? What do we choose? What do we choose? Okay, so what do we do with that courage? The next congressional recess, it's just a few days away, begins April 11th. Here's your task. I'm going to give you 3 tasks. If you ever worked with Indivisible, we love a good rally, but we like a plan too. We want to actually put a plan into action. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Step 1, there are 100,000 people here. I bet you don't know every one of them. I bet there are some new friends you could introduce yourself to right now. Look at these cool signs. Compliment your new friend on their sign. Exchange contact information. Do that before you go to lead the
We are not mad at the brother.
You gonna do that?
That's doing sign languages in the back. That's the most melanated person they could get. That brother needed a job and needed some money. So let's not judge him. Let him do it. Let him do it, y'all. You're making them a little money. He ain't protesting. They needed somebody to do the sign languages. Baby, they went and got Jamie Foxx and said, come up here and do sign languages. Somebody that was Dave who said they done found Jamie Foxx. Dave, you are hilarious. Thank you. Somebody said he's more entertaining than the speech itself. He actually is. Let me go back to it.
When they tell us to roll over and play dead, remind me, how many kings? How many kings? How many kings?
How are you
straight.
smooth with your
Okay, now
sign
let's go
language?
back home and organize the protest. This
That
one's
Negro is smooth. How you smooth with your sign languages? That nigga smooth with the sign languages.
Thank you for joining Hands Off, the People Veto Rally in Washington, D.C.
That nigga clean. He clean. I'm sorry. He is clean as heck. Man, he got the slick blazer with the shoes that match. You know what? But I said he signed in slow jam. Woo. That's the most flavor and spice they got in the room. It's the brother that's doing the sign language. Ooh, wait, he look cute too. That's all right. I'm a woman. I'm a black woman. He look cute too. So that's so funny. I love me an old smooth brother. That nigga smooth. That ninja is smooth. That brother is smooth. I ain't gonna stop saying it. I'm gonna stop saying ninja. The protest over that fast?
Democracy depends on a free press. Please.
How y'all gonna have a protest and then end that the party over? The party is officially over, Saints. Hold on, let me find. Y'all, they can't do us like that. We need some more entertainment. Oh, come on, y'all didn't end the protest. Let's see. Let's see what's going on in. Where are they now? Hold on. Let me find another one. They tied. Boss, we tied. Hold on. I'm finna run outside real quick. This looks like, I don't know. This is Boston. This is, I don't know what this is. The protest over that fast, y'all? I'm a little mad. Hold on. Gotta find some more protest stuff. Oh, here we go. White Jesus on the screen. Come on, y'all. Let's see. That was Washington, D.C. Let's see. It's just 3:00. Y'all done that quick? Oh, wow. Oh, they wrapping up. They wrapping up. Wait a minute. Hold on. My computer just did something weird. Wait a minute, y'all. And it's not working. A protest supposed to go until the next day. That's a protest. Y'all supposed to still be in the streets 7, 8 o'clock. How y'all gonna give up that fast? Ooh. Y'all boring. Y'all boring. Let's see what else going on. Hold on.
Are calling the demonstrations hands-off, and on the heels of those tariffs plus government job cuts, of course, anti-Trump protests are getting underway right now across the country. Organizers are calling the demonstrations hands-off, and they say that they're taking a stand against the Trump administration's handling of the economy, human rights, and the firing of thousands of federal workers. More than 1,200 protests are now scheduled nationwide. Our next guest, member of one of those 150 plus organizations behind today's protest, Cynthia Travieso is the director of power building for the group Community Change Action. She joins us now from here in New York. Cynthia, thank you so much for being here. Why is your group sounding the alarm about the president's policies?
People are tired. I mean, that's the best way we can say that, right? Our life is getting harder day by day in this administration, and we're going to be out on the streets letting them know, hey, how you're treating us is not okay. Hands off our rights, hands off of our Medicaid, hands off of our Social Security. You've got to listen to us, and people are getting really upset day by day.
What are you hearing from the people that you mobilized today, particularly about the economy after the tariff announcement and then the market plunge that all of us have been seeing?
You know, we talked to a lot of elders in our organizing, and one of the biggest things is their ability to retire, right? It's getting harder for them to retire. The people that are in retirement, life just got a lot harder. They live on fixed incomes, and now with the market crashing the way that it is, prices increasing the way that they are or about to start increasing, their money isn't going to stretch in the same way. And so one of the things that we're hearing is that our daily lives are not sustainable, and we're asking the government to step in and start taking action for us.
I'm hearing, Cynthia, that there are a lot of people joining into these protests here across the country. But how do you make sure that these protests, don't fall on deaf ears with the administration?
Yeah, it's not a one-time solution, right? People have to continue being active in their communities, being active by engaging with their local electeds as much as possible. One thing that we're personally doing through Community Change is on Tuesday, we're going to be in DC, following up with members of Congress. We're going to bring over 100 leaders from across the country to follow up from these actions and let them know, both Republicans and Democrats, hey, hands off our Medicaid, hey, hands off of our benefits. You've got to stand up for us, and we're demanding some action from you.
Cynthia, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. And right now, let's go to Christiane Cordero. She's at a protest in DC right now. Christiane, you've been talking to some of those protesters. What message are they trying to send today?
The two words really, Gio, are hands off. You can see the Washington Monument right behind me. We're right here on the National Mall, and there's an estimated 20,000 people who are expected to come to this protest alone. There are several hands-off protests happening around the country, but those are the two words. And then people kind of, have different motivations from there. Some people are saying hands off my Social Security. I'm going to be honest. When we first arrived about an hour ago, one thing that I really noticed was that in all of the protests I've covered, this one seems to skew a little bit older. But when we really talk to people, that's what they're motivated by right now, right? The fears of the Social Security cuts, the big across the federal workforce, and then last couple of days, a lot of insecurities about the 401ks, the investment accounts, right, with the stock market moving the way that it has. So the program kicked off officially. As I mentioned, 20,000 people expected here in DC, Gio.
All right, Christiane Cordero, we will check back in with you throughout the day here on ABC News Live. Thank you so much.
What's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why
Not a police officer in sight, Dave. Let me see. I wish TikTok had a desktop version. Hold on, is this TikTok? Oh, they do. Oh, I didn't know TikTok got a desktop version. Oh, let's go. Y'all ready? I done found something. I gotta find something because the protest wasn't hidden. Can y'all hear?
Well, that's the USA. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Well, that's the USA. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA.
I am here right now.
So look, my people.
I am here right now at the massive anti-Trump,
So look, my people gonna be mad, but I came outside to see like how this protest is. This protest is about to start in like an hour, right? I just came by where the protest is at. I gotta find somewhere to take a whiz. It's nothing but old white people and veterans. Y'all hear that, bro? It is nothing but white people. They're pissed. It's motherfuckers who like had one dude had a t-shirt. He said, I'm a recovering MAGA supporter. Bro, I'm about to look. I gotta go find somewhere to whiz. And I'm gonna go back because I got work in a little bit. So I'm gonna be here for a second. So look, my people gonna be mad, but I came outside to see like how this protest is. This protest is about to start in like an hour, right? I just came by where the protest is at. I gotta find somewhere to take a whiz. It's nothing but old white. There are protests all over the country.
There are huge protests.
Say it to my face. Too deep in the game, I'm keeping my foot in it, hitting on me, but it.
That is the most unproductive protest that I've ever seen. A protest means we shut this down. That was a gathering. That was a gathering. That was. I hadn't even discussed the misunderstanding. That was, yeah.
There are huge protests taking.
Sensitive. want to see this one.
Folks, we have some big.
Are you?
Folks, we have some big news right now. I just heard that this protest in Washington D.C. may have over 100,000 people per the event organizer. Now, I don't know what the full count is. Obviously, I think that they had a professional counter come, and maybe 50,000, 60,000. I mean, it is a lot of people here right now. This is the hands-off protest against Elon Musk, against Donald Trump. Let me show you a little bit what it looks like right now.
Good evening.
Now, the purpose of this protest, according to organizers, is to protest Elon Musk, to protest Donald Trump, to protest what the administration is doing with firing federal workers.
Trump is not even in DC
instituting
right now.
policies that curb civil
I think that
liberties
he in New
and
Jersey
so much
in
more.
his
Now, I'm here on the ground.
golf course.
I'm covering it live. I will have a
You
full
know, I don't think
breakdown on my
he is there.
Substack of all the interviews I've had, a lot of pictures I've taken. I mean, there's a lot of people here. Definitely tens of thousands of people, and there's a beat.
Are you?
Hey,
Hey, Auntie Bev here. It's a beautiful Saturday, and I'm out and about. And I'm walking around doing a silent protest. You see, when you wear one of Auntie Bev's Cacistocracy t-shirts, you don't have to say a word. You can walk around and silently protest.
Check this out. There are currently thousands
Sorry,
of
Auntie
people
Bev,
marching
did I
in
get it? I'm
Boston.
sorry. Great.
So one of my coworkers asked me, Asia, are you gonna be out there tomorrow? Talking about for the protest. I said, no, ma'am, I won't. I won't. But I said, Bora, I love. She was like, why not? And I was like, see, here's the thing. My protest has to look different because once Black people show up to a protest, it becomes a riot. And it was like watching her do American math in real time. She was like, well, it's not going to be a riot. But I said, when Black people are involved, simple protest to a riot that must be stopped. She was, I could see the wheels turning, and she was like, oh my God, you're right. Somebody's got to say something. I said, yeah, we've tried. But somebody has to be someone else. And in my head, I was like, yeah, I know. So I won't be there, but I'm totally for you. Enjoy. So one of my coworkers asked me, Asia, are you going to be out there tomorrow? Talking about for the protest. I said, no, ma'am, I won't. I won't. But I support her. I love. I'm so proud. So one of my. I'm so proud. So one of my coworkers. I'm so proud of Orlando. Yes. I'm so proud. This is great.
You are right. The pro-Palestine protest was more interesting than this. Disagreement and a discussion. That's all it was. A disagreement and a discussion. And the person y'all need to talk to is somewhere playing golf.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm so proud of Orlando. So one of my coworkers.
Why are they playing on me? They're not like us. What was that about? They're not like us.
heads up, the hands-off march and protests are taking place all around the country today. The largest of the anti-Trump, anti-Doge, anti-Elon, anti-fascism protest is taking place in Washington, D.C. today. And I'll give you 3 things about it. Thing number 1, if you're attending, stay smart, stay safe. Just like previous protests in the past, we've heard reports of agitators infiltrating these marches and protests just to cause chaos. Just like with all fascist regimes, this Trump administration is looking for opportunities to paint peaceful protests as riots. Thing number 2, don't waste a day like today by making it just one day. The way to get results is sustained disobedience over the course of weeks and months. As I always like to remind people, the Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott in the 1950s lasted 382 days to get results. So don't judge this protest or really any form of civil disobedience by what people are saying tomorrow or the next day. The real impact could be a long way off, and the way we get there is
Black man.
Go. Thing number 3, protesting in the streets ain't for everybody. And if it's
frustrating. That's the meat packing district. I think that's the meat packing district. Yeah, you're not the meat packing district. You know, you from you grew up here. Sheila said something so significant. Let me go back up here. Sheila, let me find your comment real quick. And I think everybody's saying the same thing, but she said it, and she said it in a way that I was thinking. Where is it? Hold on. I think it was Sheila that made that comment. Where is it? And it ain't gonna stick. And then somebody else said, I thought that was Sheila who said it. Who said they gonna do all this protesting and gonna wake up tomorrow and nothing's gonna change there? They're gonna wake up mad when Trump said, "Okay, y'all playing me like I'm something to play with." I'm gonna throw some more stuff at y'all and gonna piss them off even more. Most definitely. Most definitely. It's not sticking. If you're gonna protest, do it right. Right. Somebody said F. Joe Biden out there. Y'all.
So how are things going today? I'll tell you. So first of all, there have been 1,200 protests scheduled to happen today and that are still going on. There have been 600,000 people who have all signed up to go to a part of the protest. And I believe the one in DC has actually grown past what they were originally saying that it was going to be, and it is now nearing 100,000 people. And what has the White House said in response to any of this? They have just simply said that Donald Trump won a golf round and that he is proceeding to the next round. Meanwhile, while his stats all across the board, his approval rating all across the board are going down, the economy is still suffering huge losses as we get into the weekend, and there are actually Trump officials that have been cited saying this last week that Trump just simply does not give a fuck. And that is exactly what the advisor said to press. So there we go.
Trump was making a point of going to the golf course. Y'all, the man is stupid, but he's not stupid. He was letting y'all know your protest I'm unbothered. I'm gonna go and play golf for the next 2 days, and I'm still gonna come back on Monday and do whatever I want. He absolutely gives zero cares about this protest. He, in fact, laughing at it. Now, truth be told, they really, I think if we would have been out there, oh, they would have been toting us out of there, locking folks up in jail, martial law, every ninja walking the streets. The police would be looking for niggas who had to stay in the house because we didn't cut up in the middle of the street because one police officer said something to us. It ain't got nothing to do with the protest. And he gonna say something to him, and he gonna be like, who you talking to? And before you know it, the fight itself would not be about the protest. It be about some police officer being an antagonizer and saying something to a brother and the brother is like, you're not gonna talk about me like that. So with that being said, oh, here comes somebody called no reply. Let's keep it moving, y'all.
So how are things going today? I'll tell you. So first of all, there have been 1,200.
All right. Well, I was there. The protest in my city starts at 12:30. It is currently 12:37. I left before that shit got started, but there was at least 3,000 people. If you caught my live, I was live. I showed everybody. I know when the crowd get too big, it's time to skedaddle. Fuck that. I'm up out of here. All right. Well, I was there.
Black folks.
The protest in my city.
Everyday therapist, mother maintenance, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant, just an appendage, live to attendance, so that he never lives. I think God's right.
Y'all's look is so fierce, but the protest is over. The revolution cannot be televised. Yeah. I wanted y'all to do more. Yeah, white people, can y'all do some more stuff? This is boring. I wanted to see y'all cut up in the middle of the street. I want to see some action. That was boring. I'm mad at y'all. I'm really mad. Now, January 6th? Where they at? Where them at? Go get them. Because y'all didn't do what y'all was supposed to do. Oh, Democrats and liberals, y'all boring. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. But they ain't gonna be out there, the ones that was fighting January 6th, because they about their life, honey, and they got their president, which is Trump. Liberals, y'all just sunshine and rainbows. That was the most happiest debate and the most happiest protest I've ever seen. It was lame, y'all. Baby, they got Buck. You must be from Memphis because you said they got Buck. Buck is a Tennessee word. Baby, they got Buck. January 8th. That was a show. I was glued in front of the TV. January 6th. Y'all remember that because I was still going live and I went live that night. They gave me a good show on January 6th. I got a good show. But this right here, y'all didn't fulfill the objective. Y'all missed it. It was just we shall overcome. It was no rhythm, no nothing. I'm mad, y'all. January 6th crew protest. Lit. It was lit from the beginning, lit until the end, and lit after the fact. Y'all didn't do it for me. Wait a minute, you said y'all didn't do it for me. Wait a minute, St. Louis. Oh, you said, you from St. Louis. Well, you close enough to Tennessee. That was boring. Oh, that was a boring. They boring. Woo. And now Cory Booker is having A town hall meeting. Boring. Y'all done went home and had lunch. Y'all done went and had lunch after this. Protest, you ain't going to have lunch and go take a nap and you're done and you go back to your city. Protest, scuff marks. I'm in jail. You having to come and bail me out. I need jail food. I'm doing all types of stuff. I'm cutting up in the middle of the street. I'm laid down on the ground stiff and I'm not moving. I thought I was going to get that. Tear gas. I didn't get none of that. Saints, I'm mad. I want my money back. Was it what that lady say? Give me my time back. I'm mad. I want my money back. What she say? Re-give me my time. What did Maxine Waters say? What she say? I forgot her phrase. Oh. I'm mad. Yes, they had they're meeting at Starbucks right now and chilling. Man. Reclaiming my time, correct? That's how I feel right now. Reclaiming my time. Y'all owe me my time back because I'm mad. Y'all, this was boring. Y'all could have did a better job. I can't even find any recaps on TikTok even worth watching. The recaps is going to be the commentary after the fact by Black folks on TikTok. That's going to be the funny part. Y'all did y'all best, liberals. Y'all did y'all best. But y'all didn't do y'all best. Ooh. At least we had fun together. We done laughed and joked here, but I'm telling y'all, give me my dadgum money back. Y'all, why y'all leaving? We ain't done yet. I done had 80 people leave. Come on back, y'all. I'm mad as I drink my Canada Dry seltzer water black cherry. It's a little good, y'all. I love a good seltzer water. Reclaiming my time. Yes. White people disappointing once again. I'm mad, y'all. I wanted some fun stuff going on. I thought I was going to get a show. I didn't get a show. I'm actually pouting right now. I wanted a show. I wanted to see some. I want them to book in the middle of the street. That's what I wanted. I want them lay out stiff in the middle of the streets. I'm not moving until Trump is gone. I want to see that. I got a concert. Not a good concert at that. I felt like I was at watching a concert at the park. That's what I got. That wasn't a protest. That was a peaceful concert. I need civil unrest in the streets because it's boring right now. But what's going to be interesting is Monday morning when Trump is going to say, I don't care what y'all did. I'm finna slap some more tariffs. I'm finna cut a fool. I'm finna drag the stock market. So let's talk about the stock market real quick. I ain't finna talk about this boring protest. Y'all didn't give me what I want. I'm disappointed in y'all. White people, we need to all have a meeting. I need to meet with y'all. We need to all meet together and we're going to explain to y'all what's involved in the protest because that wasn't it. That wasn't it. That's all right, though. That's all right. They tried. They tried their best. So let's talk about this economy. Saints, this economy. We got to talk about this real quick. Y'all want to talk about the tariffs now and the economy? It did look like a festival of complaints. I'm going to submit my complaint to the president on a microphone in the middle of the yard. And then I'm going to leave and go to Starbucks. Let's see what's going on. Y'all ready? We're going to have a meeting with y'all. Y'all didn't fulfill the objective. Y'all were a little boring. We're going to learn. We're going to teach y'all. And then next time y'all go out there and y'all do it right the next time. Because this right here was, everybody wore colorful t-shirts, cute sneakers. You're not a protest? Wait a minute. You're too clean dressed for a protest. Protest, you got jogging pants, t-shirt, sneakers on. You got a mask on. It's about to go down. You came out there with your nice jeans, with your shirt, matching a nice, what do you call those shoes that they wear? The cloud shoes. Your nice, comfortable tennis sneakers. And make sure you have on comfortable shoes because we'll be standing. Y'all didn't come out there and do the business. Even TikTok is like comfy shoes, protest. All right, so let's get to some other stuff. Maybe this will be, penny loafers. Somebody said, don't you tell white folks nothing, no meeting. Y'all are hilarious. Let's see what's going on with this economy. Now that's a conversation too. That's good. So stock market crash, worst day since COVID. Let's look at this.
Thursday, April 3rd, a day that is now etched into history of failed economic policy and self-inflicted political wounds as President Trump's broad, completely untargeted tariffs are tanking the U.S. markets, wreaking havoc on American companies, ensuring now much higher prices on American consumers, undercutting over the long haul American jobs, risking a recession. And that's according to many experts in the coverage we've seen all across this chaotic day. And let's be clear, Trump's policies slapping a giant tax on Americans, as his former VP Mike Pence put it today. Numbers do not lie. We always try to show you the facts here and lead with the facts. And while some numbers are so bad that we can all reasonably agree it's not a good thing, it's a bad thing, I want to begin not with my observation or Nicole's or what we've discussed in plain English, but the numbers that show these are the most damaging tariffs in a century. And this is now today the largest stock slide since the global pandemic first arrived in President Trump's first term.
Markets look set to sell off as Donald Trump imposes the steepest U.S. import levies in a century.
I don't think there's a single positive take on this. This is all just bad.
Stock set to wipe out nearly $2 trillion in market value.
Taking a plunge as investors react to the sweeping tariffs. The world was yesterday sort of bracing for a bazooka. But Trump decided he was going to go the Chicago way, and he dropped an economic Moab.
They are going to turn it upside down, and I think 50-50 into a recession.
Markets tanking. Experts warning of a recession which would be self-inflicted by a new president in the beginning of the term, almost unheard of. In fact, to find a stock slide this bad, as mentioned, you have to go beyond any of the normal volatility. You have to go beyond the inflation-plagued Biden term. And you have to go back to that unusual moment, which we all shared together, when the world began to grasp that it was facing a global pandemic in COVID. The market is a collection of companies and people reacting to events. And it began to quickly absorb how bad the pandemic was going to be. And that was the last time we saw this large a drop. Stocks suffer biggest one-day wipeout in value since that March 2020 pandemic is the Wall Street Journal's headline today, a kind of a Bible for Wall Street. You can see the steep plunge in the combined drop there among the 500 largest companies. Those are the biggest companies that trade publicly. And you can see the reaction quite clear to the Trump tariff announcement, these new tariffs that escalate what was already a costly trade war. It is hard to put the numbers, which I told you is how we're leading tonight, so you can just remember some of the basic math, but it's hard to put them in perspective, I could tell you that that is a sudden, seismic 4.8% drop in all of those stocks, the 500 stocks traded on S&P, or I could estimate the value. It's a rough number, but it is a big one. That drop constitutes, in response to Trump's plan, which he was warned against, over $2 trillion lost.
That's not, let's stop right here. Y'all see that drop? That wasn't a gradual, it was a dip, a hard dip. You're right, the interest rates will skyrocket as more countries pull away from the dollar and the purchase power collapse. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So you see that plummet right there. The tariffs dip. And the thing is, it's not like it dipped and it's going back up. It's dipping and it keeps dipping and it keeps dipping. Woo.
Here. Similar story on the Dow, down about 4%.
Dip.
The other broad stock exchange, the NASDAQ, even worse, plummeting 6%. This is the math. Numbers don't lie. These are the new Trump tariffs, which, as many people warned, many experts warned, and many Trump allies, Republicans, Wall Street veterans warned, are now sinking every market index, battering U.S. stocks. If you look at the measure that includes more companies, they're actually hit the worst. In other words, I mentioned that 4% was trillions. The 2000 index of the companies that include smaller companies located in other parts of the country, et cetera, they're actually taking it the worst. And there's a lot of Trump voters, and frankly, a lot of people in general affected, but that's down 21% from its market high. These tariffs from Trump are escalating the trade war to new heights. They're guaranteeing more countermeasures in the trade war as they hit every country, big or small, rich or poor. Take one conservative magazine that tracks this very closely, The Economist. They call it now Ruination Day, showing President Trump quite literally sawing the U.S. off the map. A self-inflicted wound, isolating us from the rest of the global economy. It's a contrast from a few months back under Biden, when The Economist, which is a right-leaning kind of pro-corporate but internationally objective, say they are, commented that at that point we had the economy that was the envy of the world. More headlines today: Trump tariffs sinking markets, economic havoc, Wall Street reeling, stocks plunging. That is the brutal reality. This story is well beyond politics and news nerds, if you will. It's my job to sometimes tell you, hey, it's a little bit slower news day, or this thing may not break through, or we had a Senate vote, but it's not going to pass the House. So
last one. Say goodbye to the reparations, folks. Just kidding. Dave, don't play no games. They got to give it to us. They said they're going to give you great wealth, so don't stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Get my check. I'm sorry. I had something in my throat. Hold on. Now, stock market tumbles ahead of Trump's Liberation Day tariff.
Wednesday, as President Trump is set to unveil new tariffs later today. The president has
potty training. He's got pull-ups training pants.
grow the U.S. economy. Right now, we're seeing the Dow down over 300 points. Sources tell ABC News officials are considering a flat rate on all imports, different tariff levels depending on barriers imposed on American goods, and tariffs focused on trade imbalances. But economists are warning, regardless, it will be Americans paying higher prices. ABC News business reporter Alexis Christoforous is here for more. So, Alexis, what are you watching for as trading starts ahead of this big announcement?
Well, right out of the gate, we're down more than 300 points on the Dow. The market's really been going through it, right? Really, these tariffs have caused chaos in the stock market. The S&P 500 now down more than 9% from its recent high. The NASDAQ composite down about 15% from its recent high. What Wall Street wants finally is clarity on the tariff. We don't know if we're going to get it later today, but Trump's going to make this announcement after the stock market closes, which means investors will sort of have the night to sleep on it to figure out what his tariff agenda might mean for the economy and for Wall Street. But we know that now for weeks, investors have just been wanting clarity on what this policy is going to look like. Economists are saying the worst case scenario for the markets and the economy would be a flat 20% tax rate across the board. They're saying that would most definitely lead to a recession and could push unemployment to 7%. Remember, we have unemployment now at 4%. Also, the market is just absolutely disregarding some pretty good economic data we got today on jobs. Private employers added more jobs than expected last month. Of course, we got the big unemployment report for the month on Friday. But all they care about right now, Diane, the tariffs. What will they look like? And what will the ramifications be?
All right, business reporter Alexis Christophers, thank you. That is the big question. So many are wondering today.
Y'all, I will say this, and then I'm going to close up. Back during the Great Depression, I think at that time, people were just now getting settled and getting the country itself has started to grow, and people were starting to attain wealth, but there were more. It was less. I want to say things were as easy or as accessible as they are in the past couple of decades. So you're talking about after the Great Depression, a lot of people at that time, you had a large influx of immigrants. And I think during that time, a large influx of immigrants coming in here as well. So their response to a depression wasn't going to be backlash. It was just like, we're going to be able to see our way through it. We're going to be able to get through this. We're going to be able to make it through a depression, because if we keep going this route, we're going to be in a depression. Looking towards, and they knew how to live. Maybe that's the best way. They knew how to live with lack. So they were less amped to cut up. It was more of, let's make it through it. Now you're dealing with a different type of white people. You're dealing with a different type of American who's not used to dealing with lack. They are always used to having what they want, when they want, how they want. And if we make a real call to say, and I get what you're saying, we are in a depression. We are to an extent, but not to the extent where it's going to be a global ripple effect and the U.S. will feel it. When they get to that point, that's when you're going to start seeing a different type of response. I really believe that this is going to lead to fighting in the streets. I really believe we're going to end up in some type of a civil war before we go into a global war. If we don't go into the global war is coming. War is coming. War is coming, and we see it. But yet and still, it was just a different time then. Folks was just, but this is a new age right here. White people, they're used to having access. They're used to having jobs. They're used to having, and I ain't knocking them. Hey, you did your big thing. You got your money. You did your thing. But I think this one is going to be the fall because they're not going to accept it. They're screaming at the White House, and majority of them probably got jobs. It's when they don't have jobs and they start losing things and they cannot pay their bills and they losing their houses and they losing their cars. That's when you're going to see them cut up in the middle of the street. They haven't lost enough yet to even when you look at the stage itself, they don't look like they've lost anything. Some people in the audience have lost some things and they are trying to sustain, but it's not enough to bring people into the streets to just say, we finna chunk it all. We finna go in. It's when they have lost. You're going to start seeing them. The protest is finna flip. It's going to go from a protest to the revolution. It's going to go from protest to revolution. No different than the American Revolution when you had the rebels against the English. They was losing, and they said, "We finna go to war," and they went to war with England or Great Britain for their rights because they were being overly taxed, and you had the tea tax, you had all types of stuff. And they said enough is enough, and people were poor and without, and they said they ain't hit rock bottom yet. They're uncomfortable right now. Just like that man said, well, I looked at my 401k, and when you look at your 401k and there is no 401k, that's when you're gonna see people cut up in the middle of the street. They ain't lost enough yet. They have not lost enough yet to turn. That's when it's going to turn into January 8th. That's when you're going to see, the Boston Tea Party. And it was the tax on the tea. They ain't lost enough yet. When he takes this economy, it's a matter of when and not if. When he takes this economy, because it's going to be a ripple effect. Because that's why these countries are protesting. Because guess what? Hold on. You taxing us. We making money. We making money off y'all. And now we got to pay normal taxes to be able to get access to the things we used to and we like. All the other countries are like, hold on, we finna fight this one too. They don't care nothing about this because they care about their bottom line. But that's it. The guy said, I looked at my 401k. You still have a 401k? You're not that upset. You're going to be upset when you look at your 401k and it's depleted to nothing. That's when you're going to see people getting upset. When you start seeing your access or your ability to sustain the lifestyle that you love, because you're still in France enjoying your best life. That's when you're going to start seeing when you can't sustain. That's when you're going to see them cut up in the middle of the street. Again, today's protest was a I hate Trump festival. That's all it was, a festival. You had music. It felt like a festival. It felt like an outdoor event. It was an outdoor event. But no real protest. You had everybody looked like they was comfortable still. They gonna get into their cars and go into their expensive houses. They went to Starbucks and talked about, well, let's talk about our lessons learned on this protest. What can we do better? When you lost everything, that wasn't a real protest. That was a joke. That was a joke. And Trump is laughing at them. They stayed at the Four Seasons. Yep, they showed up and stayed at the Four Seasons or the Hilton or had a nice Airbnb together. It's almost like they had a conference. It's like the Hebrews were like our Hebrew African Justice Conference. It was a conference. And they stayed in their nice Airbnbs together. And they built focus groups, and we're going to figure out how to do this. We're going to create, they had a program that shows you that wasn't a real protest. Where next up to speak is a protest. Folks grabbing mics, acting like they lost their mind. And there is no mic during protest most times. They cutting up in the middle, and I ain't it would have been much more interesting. They watched, and people with their signs, "Woo, we hate Trump," and Trump is at the golf course like, this ain't no real thing. He wasn't. The key to it is he was not bothered. A protest brings uncomfort to makes the oppressor uncomfortable or unhappy. Trump was supposed to be on the news saying, breaking news, Trump is now saying that if the protesters don't leave, everybody's going to jail. That's a protest. Breaking news, if anybody's out after 7 o'clock, you're going to get locked up. That's a protest. Trump is at the golf course doing his thing. Do you think this is going to be results driven, or is it just going to piss him off even more? It's going to piss him off even more. And what he's going to do is say, well, since y'all want to do this, I'm going to take some more of y'all rights away. Oh, since y'all want to protest again, I'm going to take some more of your rights away. Y'all not doing nothing. When black folks go, we go shut this down when we done. And again, protest is truly protest. When you are protesting and you make change, there will be no change after this. The most change we saw was Trump's change of locations. He said, I'm coming out of DC. I'm going to go up here. I think he in New Jersey at his golf course. But there was no real substance to this. This was just, I'm going to get in the mic. I'm going to growl and scream. I'm going to holler, and I'm going to just get all. We have Planned Parenthood. We have such and such and such and such speaking. And we have such and such. Wait, hold on. This wasn't a real. 3,000 people showed up to a festival. I Hate Trump festival. That's all they did. No substance. And it was over by 4. Protests don't have an end time. Protest ends when I get what I want. I heard about that. Yep. Protest ends when the other person gives. Protest happens all day. We wake up in the morning, we look at TV, they still cutting up in the middle of the street, go back to sleep. Next day, by Monday, oh man, the protesters are in such and such and such and such. It didn't have any weight or meat to it. None whatsoever. So that's all we watched was a colorful event. Not a protest, but a festival. That's what I saw. That's what we saw. So with that being said, y'all, we had fun laughing and talking. But again, just brace yourself, because when you do stuff like this, you hit them hard, because you want to hit them so hard that they don't come back at you again. That's like going into a fight and just hitting somebody. What they going to do? They're going to smack the brakes off you. And that's all y'all did was kind of shove Trump a little bit. Not even shoved him. Y'all tapped him on his shoulder and said, hey, yo, I don't like what you did. You know what he finna do? He finna take his backhand and smack the heck out of everybody who's involved. So you on that mic screaming and growling and hollering. He's still gonna close Planned Parenthood down. Y'all got up here talking about he's still gonna do what he wanna do. He's still gonna keep doing these gonna be in a tariff war with these other countries. We're still gonna see the stock market crash. It ain't gonna change. Y'all ain't lost enough. Y'all ain't been hungry. When you've been hungry, oh yeah, that's a protest. You finna protest. Yeah, it was a garden party. That's all it was. You ain't hungry enough. You ain't lost enough. That shows right there. The reason that there is no meat to it, you haven't lost enough to make you say, I'm standing in the middle of the damn street until you give me my stuff back. Excuse my language. You ain't lost enough. And the ones that have lost everything, that's who you needed to come to the fight. The ones that have lost a lot in this country, that's who y'all wanted to come and fight with y'all. And we said, no, we're not. We declined on your invitation for this. And thank you. Was off. The cops was off with a payday. Nothing to see here. That's all it did. That's all the cops did. The police officers did was direct traffic. Make sure y'all didn't get in the road and block traffic. That's a protest. Pro-Palestine was a protest. That next generation, my daughter's generation, they protested. We got to give them props. That generation protested. This older generation, y'all tried to do a Dr. King move when you are hey, words can't explain. I got to figure out how to say it. Don't say hungry, because we aren't always. I get what you just said, but Correct. Correct, family. So I've been out here for how long? I'm getting sleepy, y'all. I'm finna take a nap. I need to go and wash clothes. What time is it? 4 o'clock. So if I take a hour and a half nap, if I'm at the laundromat by 5:30, later than 7, even if I'm at the laundromat by 7, I still got 2 solid hours. I'm sleepy. Yeah, I'm finna go take a nap. But then the Meemaws be in the laundromat. Oh my goodness. Okay, somebody said no gluten protest. Let somebody come in there with some gluten or peanuts. That peanut allergic, like I said. I ain't see no tear gas or nothing. There has been no protest. That was a garden party, like somebody said. All right, family, I'm gonna go to sleep. I got sleepy. That was boring. I couldn't watch clothes, but I wanted to hang out with y'all for us to sit and watch this. I thought I was gonna see a show. I'm disappointed. All right, family. Love y'all so much for supporting me. I'm going to take a nap because I'm on my last leg, y'all. All right. Well, if we see something pop off tonight, I get online, y'all. Just keep your eyes open. If something crazy happen tonight, go ahead and get your popcorn. I'm going to go live because I'm at home all day today. I don't plan to go nowhere. But yeah, enjoy the rest of y'all Shabbat. Thank y'all so much for joining me. And much love, family. Support the channel, share, like, and subscribe if you have not.
All different type of information every week. Let me speak. If you subscribe, we're going deep. Love talk, Sister E. God's work, Sister E. Charity, Sister E. Let's talk with Sister E.